Hello, everybody. I will give you some time to connect, but I would really like to welcome you to our webinar, our distributor matchmaking webinar for the Arab Health Trade Fair. My name is Matthias Brandt. I'm working for Trade since 2017. And here at Trade, especially here at Trade Health, we are organizing healthcare projects worldwide, both as part of delegations, but also supporting German companies going to foreign countries in the scope of trade fairs. Today with me, we have our longtime partner from Royalty Consultants, Ms. Rania Kimrachi. We've been conducting several missions together, both in the healthcare sector, but also in environmental technologies and civil security technologies. But every time it was in the region, in the GCC region, where the Arab Health will take place, so in Dubai, especially. And today I'm very much looking forward to this webinar to get some insights from our local partner. And first of all, before I start, of course, we will have a short introduction also from Rania's side. I will say Rania because it's much easier. And I will just ask you a first poll. So the question is if you have ever exhibited at the Arab Health Trade Fair before. So you will just have a quick introductory poll in the beginning so that we know where you are and where we can take you, where we can take you from. So I will also share the results afterwards, of course. Oh, this is quite even. Okay, no, it's not. Now it's quite clear. All right. I think everybody has voted. Yes, everybody has voted. Thank you for that. And I would show the results to you. So it's quite clear that for most of the participants, it's 78% attending for the first time the Arab Health Trade Fair. 11% have attended once, or the same 11% have attended more than one time. So yeah, I think we are now speaking to people who are attending for the first time mainly. So it's, I think, for today's agenda very helpful to have that in mind, because we can then also provide some general information on the trade fair. And yes, Rania, I would quickly pass the word over to you, and you can introduce yourself and give us some insights about your person, but also about your company, Royalty Consultants.
Thank you, Matthias. It's a pleasure for me to join again a new delegation, a new project, and hopefully it's going to be very successful as usual. My name is Rania Kimrachi. I'm the founder and managing director of Royalty Consultants. We have been established in UAE, Dubai in 2012. And since then, we are well known to offer expert market entry and business expansion solutions. We also do local market business representation in the United Arab Emirates and the Gulf Cooperation countries. I would also apologize for my voice today. It might be not clear, due to certain weather changes, let's say. But I hope that in case if you have any questions later on, please, we will be very happy to answer your questions after the webinar, during the webinar, at the end of the webinar. Especially that we know now that many of you are first timers, and there must be very valuable questions you need to ask as well.
Exactly. Yeah, thank you very much, Rania. So for today's agenda, we will have, as you already mentioned, a short part interview. So we will have some questions that we discussed before. So this is quite fixed. Afterwards, Rania will introduce our distributor matching, which will be hopefully solving one of the main problems that you will have attending the Arab Health Trade Fair. And afterwards, as you said, we will have this Q&A session where you are most welcome to ask some questions that Rania can answer for you. So I would, we are limited on time, we just have half an hour. I would quickly jump in with the first question, Rania. So how many years of experience do you personally have with supporting foreign companies in entering new market, and especially in the GCC region?
We've been doing business in the UAE for the last 18 years, but I've been heading the healthcare department since 2014. Of course, during that time, we did as a team build a track record in B2B and B2C and B2G funnels with GCC market and Middle East. We have valuable contacts and leads from both private and public sectors, and they are all supporting the SMEs from Europe. Mainly, they come from Switzerland, Germany, Finland, Italy, Poland, Croatia, to name just few of the countries or the SMEs that we have been assisting since 2014.
Okay, perfect. So that gives us a little background on your history in the UAE. What would you say is, when you are, for example, a German small and medium-sized company, what is the most important success formula when you want to enter the UAE or other GCC markets?
Honestly, there is no standardized formula that for success or to give to any company from anywhere in the world. It depends. Mostly we have personalized strategies and solutions that we draw to fit the SMEs, services, and products. And of course, they had to fit into each specific market, because UAE market could be very different from Oman, from Kuwait, from Bahrain, from Saudi Arabia. And most of our clients, they might start with the UAE, but actually it's not very limited. UAE could be the top, one of the top 10 economies with the most efficient healthcare sector. And it's ranked actually the top of the Middle East countries. But when entering UAE, you're reaching more than just the small UAE market. So it's actually, you have potential markets that goes from here, which is Asia, Africa, North Africa, and Middle East countries. Many of those businesses that they start from Dubai or Abu Dhabi or UAE in general, actually they do export and re-export for their products and services to other countries. I have a very interesting number from Dubai Chamber that was recently announced, which is for the exports and re-exports that grew 21.8%, equivalent to over 147 billion from January till August 2021, which is immediately after the, let's say, the corona or let's say the closure that we had. Within this number, okay, GCC countries re-exports from the UAE during the first 8 months was increased 16.4% in a year-on-year, which is equivalent to 79.6 billion dirham. So you would see that as a German company or any other company from around the world, if you are an SME, you have a big potential, and the success formula will come into you drawing your own personalized market entry plan.
Yeah. Can you bring an example for that of a successful market entry that you conducted, where you supported the company entering the market?
To be honest, there are many success stories.
That's good. That's good to hear.
We offer local and regional market know-how, and we have the right network. So we study your business solution, and we try to connect you with the right after, of course, a simple or a comprehensive market research. We will introduce you the best in the market strategic representation and solution, and we will try to build the right contact, local, either agent or representative, or even direct buyer or distributor for your services or products. So what we do actually is we guide you towards the right channel. The thing that so many people does not know about the UAE market or GCC market, that you will not be able to do business in the country if you don't have one of those channels, an agent and registered agent, a representative, or a registered distributor. The buyers, the direct buyers, could be a hospital where they have an internal purchasing department, recruitment department, or a government. So for us, we had several companies that came to us where they were trying actually to do some business for more than 3 to 4 years after visiting Dubai several times and changing their local agent or representative because they haven't done the right due diligence and they didn't have the right contacts and contracts. So also it's very important for foreign companies coming to do business in the UAE to have the right legal formulas, contracts, even if they are still in the negotiation phases. This is something that takes an hour to talk about, but I'm just giving you an indication about it.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, thank you very much. I think if there is a need for one-on-one consultation afterwards, I think you are also available for that.
Very important to have one-to-one consultation.
Yeah, perfect. Generally speaking about the market, how is the current situation with regard to COVID, but also the general economic situation? We have the Expo going on, and but also an economic decline in the last years. How would you evaluate the current situation, especially with regard to the healthcare sector?
So the economic decline has happened all over the world. It's not only in the UAE or GCC or Europe, but UAE was one of the first countries in the Middle East or maybe also in the world to open its borders in last year summer during July. And they opened for tourists and business at the same time. And they started doing maybe several small exhibitions and business meetings, and people started flying here. Of course, there were some restrictions and there were some quarantine times, but this developed with time heavily. Now with Expo, people have, hopefully the one who are interested to enter the UAE market, have been watching in the news and reading in the news that in 1 month we had 2.5 million visitors only to Expo. And let's say 50% of those visitors came from all around the world. So it was not only the locals who are visiting Expo, because the thing that we need to also explain to our participants that Arab Health last year, we had, I will talk about it later on. I just want to tell you here that the UAE market have studied quite aggressively the people who are coming to UAE to do exhibitions and to visit Expo at the same time. So this year, 2021, we had a real transformation in healthcare trade post the pandemic, with over than 20,000 professionals that attended the in-person Arab Health at the beginning of this year. And at the same time with Expo, we are having this in 2022, we are expecting more than 56,000 to 57,000 attendance. This is only for Arab Health, and there is around 10,000 visitors for Expo at the same time because they are parallel with each other, okay? For pavilions at Expo that is promoting health and wellness week. So this year, there's a promising, in that timeline, there will be a promising medical device market. There's a recent report that was launched that Dubai or UAE medical device market is going to reach 5.6 billion dirhams by 2025, and starting with so many initiatives in 2022. So if you combine it with an annual growth rate in the UAE, or only in the medical device or medical technology market, it's 4.4 increase between 2025. So UAE also emphasizes its position in the market as a medical tourism center of excellence destination. We have over than 165 private hospitals and 55 public hospitals that they are on regular development for their technologies that are planned from the local market abroad to the GCC.
Yeah. How important would you say is the trade fair for entering the market? Is it the gateway to the GCC?
Is the gateway, because from around 3,590 or 95 exhibitors only, you will have people from all around the world. We are expecting more than 62 countries to be exhibiting, and over than 200 nationalities to be visiting. I will tell you for sure 100% that the GCC, the regional market, will be visiting Dubai for Arab Health, because that is what has been happening for the last 47 years of Arab Health. So if you're coming to Dubai, you're not coming only to meet local distributors or buyers or governments. You are actually meeting distributors from all around the region, even from Africa, Asia, Russia, United States, from all around the world. So people who did not visit Arab Health before, I would advise them highly to maybe go on YouTube and try to search for some videos and to see how busy it is and how big it is and how difficult actually to make a right contacts, because in one visit, you might come out in one day and you can come out with at least 30 business cards. So out of those 30 business cards, how many businesses you will be generating? So, especially if it's your first time, you don't know where you're coming and what are you expecting. So I think that is the reason we are trying to make it a little bit easier for you. The last few years have been very challenging and people were meeting online. But I think now with an in-person meeting, it's very important to meet the right person, the decision maker.
Oh, now you're biasing already our poll. We have a poll prepared to lead over.
Yes.
And yeah, maybe we will leave the choice to our listeners and webinar participants, what you consider your personal challenges when attending the Arab Health or any other medical trade fair. So I guess that there might be, some persons who would say it's finding the right business partner to be seen at the trade fair. In the end, also the cost-benefit ratio, probably also language or cultural barriers, or if you don't have challenges at all, then our job would be limited. But I guess that most people face some challenges when attending the trade fair. And yeah, I see a tendency. Yeah, this is actually what we expected, and this is why we created our distributor matchmaking. I think it's not only, it's a 70%. I will end the poll. I think everybody has voted. I will end the poll and share the results with you. So for 70%, finding the right business partner is the most important aspect. This is actually what we expected, and that's why we set up the business partner matchmaking to support you. And I guess this is also why you attend the webinar to learn more about it. But also quite relevant with 20% is to be seen at the trade fair and the cost benefit ratio in the end, that of course in the end you also want to get some value for money, and you invest a lot of money, that you have a return on invest there. Sure. Nobody chose the language or cultural barriers. I think this is also
speaking country, so
that's actually what I expected also, because in the GCC there was never a language problem as far as our business missions were confirmed. So yeah, Rania, let's speak a little bit how trade and especially royalty consultants can help you with finding the right business partner at the trade fair. You were already mentioning just collecting business cards. This is not what you want to come out at a trade fair, but you want to have concrete leads. You want to have business opportunities. Yeah. How we can support you with that.
For years, actually, I just want to share with you one of the success stories that I didn't share before, but in a very brief. So we have a company from an ex-country where they've been exhibiting for the last, for 7 years. Okay, and we always met them at the gala dinner of this pavilion event. And I always see that they had a box where they are collecting business cards on their booth. So I tried to approach them several times, asking them, how is your sales? How's things? We had this partner. We tried to enter this kind of communication. We tried to write emails. Nobody is answering us. Most they are juniors. They are not connecting us with the right decision maker. So it's a little bit of chaotic, you know, to find the right person to connect and contact with, and, you know, have this really company team meeting where they are going to study your solution or product and then try to take it forward, where they are, checking the possibility of making business. At the exhibition, you are not able to have those 10-15 minutes interaction with one of the employees of this company. He might be actually the general manager, he might be the owner of this company, but at the end of the day, he is going to share your contact with his team, okay, and tell them, evaluate what we can do with this company and let me know. So some of those companies could be large companies, they might be small companies, and they might be medium companies. I'm talking here about the distributor. So you have to define your goals and objectives entering the market. Do you really want to enter let's say business negotiations with a large company? They have a portfolio of, let's say, 100, 150 or 200 products and services that you will be competing in-house with them to reach the market? Did you do your due diligence with this company where you are trying to communicate and try to do a partnership? This is the problem. Most of the companies, they don't do that. You are coming, and most the exhibitors are a visitor. Either he's coming alone, representing his company from Europe and trying to find, okay, this time I'm coming here just to test the waters, to see what Arab Health could offer me maybe for my next visit. But actually, it might be your first time and maybe you're testing the waters and testing the market, but we might be able to help you actually to get in contact immediately without even a second time cost, you know, to come and visit Dubai or exhibit again to find the right partner. So maybe us as royalty consultants with trade, setting 4 to 5 or 6 valuable business appointments with decision makers that could, even if you are not really at the stage of expanding or extending your business to this region, you will know from the experts, what is my next step?
Yeah. Can you maybe explain how this process will work for the companies?
Of course. So now you're based in Germany. So you will be contacting, let's say, trade directly. Trade will have online business meeting with you and understand what is your business plan to enter the GCC market or attend the exhibition. So they will do workshop. This workshop, I will be attending the workshop along with them. We will share with you an Excel sheet that you will fill up the most important things that we need to know about your company to evaluate your potential. Then, and you will share your service or product presentation, and then company profile, and then we will set up meeting together online and have a workshop. It could be half an hour, it could be 1 hour, where we will be discussing your success potential. Of course, this will happen after you sign an agreement with the trade. And then afterwards, the next step would be in a week or 10 days or 15 days after our workshop, we will create a business partner identification list where it could have around 10 to 20 potential business partners that fits your business. Those partners could be in the UAE only, and they could be in the GCC countries. I might have the right connection for you in Saudi Arabia, or I might have the right connection for you in Oman or Kuwait or any other country. So, and I see, because we are very well established in those countries, we know where the need is. So your solution, your product could be actually not very competitive in our market, in UAE market, but could be very competitive and very much needed in another market. So we will advise you and highlight to you that those are the companies that could be fitting your business. And then we can't promise you, of course, to have the appointments, all the appointments at Expo, because the Saudi or the Omani or the Kuwaiti partner or potential successful partner would not be traveling to Dubai during the exhibition time, but we might be able to have an online appointment that will be followed, of course, by an in-person appointment. Either they travel to you or you travel to them as a second stage. So, of course, business interaction is very, very important when you are searching for a partner. Everybody says, getting a business partner is like a marriage contract. It is very important to set up all the information and all the rules and regulation according to the importing and exporting countries that fits both parties. And this is where we can help you with as a second stage. Sorry.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you, Rania. And I would just get you back to the screen. Mm-hmm. I think that gave us a very, very good overview of what we can expect. So you mentioned already the number of meetings. We think it will be between 3 and 7 somewhere. We cannot promise anything, but it will be somewhere in between that. And we will do, of course, our best to generate as many valuable meetings as possible for you. Can you maybe name again the countries? We're always speaking about GCC, but what does that exactly mean?
Yeah. It's United Arab Emirates, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Oman, Bahrain, and Qatar.
Yeah, perfect.
So those are the Gulf Cooperation countries.
Yeah.
And just to let you know, doing business in those countries is very, very different from doing business in Europe, because here, maybe partnerships has to be more technical than emotional, but here they're a bit of emotional, which means that social and relationship plays a big role in getting, the right partner and doing business, like drawing the business relation roadmap, let's say. So you need to give, also don't expect that, okay, from the first meeting or second meeting that, we will sign an agreement. You need to be present. You need to do a lot of research, and you need to do a lot of in-person meetings. It might happen that you travel this time as a first time or second time or third time to UAE to attend an exhibition, but you need to come again to make this relationship more solid and to visit the potential business partner at their office, and they have to visit your manufacturing, let's say, or office in Germany, okay, to build this kind of successful partnership.
Yeah.
Okay. So we will be able to give you some also advices how to go through those kind of relationships and business partnerships at later stage. So.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you, Rania, giving you a little break. Of course, our Q&A session, we are already in between it already. So if you have any questions, just raise your hands and write it in the chat so that we can ask it to Rania. So one of the questions was where the countries, which the countries are that you can cover. Another one, I think you have already mentioned the number of meetings that people can expect. Then there was one question, which is more general question on the steps, the first steps that you should take to have the correct alignment with a distribution partner. I think you explained already this hybrid model of probably meeting people online first and then at the trade fair. Can you maybe go a little bit more into detail how you should do the first steps with a distributor in the UAE? Maybe also how this is different to approaching a distributor, for example, in the Netherlands or in France for a German company.
Actually, just to let you know, I mean, some of the let's say clients, they ask for an initial, let's say, Zoom meeting with the potential partner. And then afterwards, they will, whenever they are in the country or in the region, they will set up in-person meeting. Okay, so in the last actually 2 years, we have had so many successful and unsuccessful meetings which happened online, and when they actually happened in person, it was completely different, especially in government, because we help several companies to contract government entities, which is mainly the Dubai Health Authority or the Ministry of Health and Prevention. They are not easy to communicate with online. It's the most efficient way is to meet them in person, but it didn't happen just like that. You needed to have several online meetings, and then like maybe around 4 to 5 in-person meetings, and then it will be successful. You are in Netherlands or Germany or States or China. It's better to have nowadays the online, but now we have the chance in UAE to be in person. So why would you postpone it?
Yep.
Meeting in person and just save the time. You know, those 2-3 weeks of preparation or trying to get this, let's say, connection between you and the potential partner. So yeah, and you need to manage your expectations. So some companies, they come here with very high expectations that from the first or second meeting we are signing an agreement. It doesn't happen this way. It will take time, you know.
This is a very nice closing statement. I think Arab Health 2022 can be your starting point to accessing the markets, and you can accelerate this process a lot when you, additional to, of course, what you pay for the fee, you would maybe ask yourself, spending an additional amount of money, but we can guarantee that we can make your stay at the Arab Health and your exhibition much more successful. So Rania, last word to you.
One advice that anybody who is attending Arab Health this year, don't limit your travel time only for the exhibition. You need to come either pre or stay 2 or 3 days after the exhibition to, first of all, visit the country. Visit Expo is a must, and to visit your potential business